Welcome to the Joy Inspired podcast. I'm Nikki Cruise, and I'm thrilled to explore with you what it means to walk in a faith-infused business. This is your space to find powerful tools and insights, to build with resilience, and to create impact through your unique purpose, discovering a joy that only God can provide. Together, let's embrace a business journey anchored in faith and empowered by joy. Let's jump in. Well, hi, precious people. Welcome back to Joy Inspired Podcast, where faith meets business, where we get to be reminded that joy isn't just a feeling, it's a choice. Even when things seem chaotic and your inbox feels like a battlefield and your coffee is cold 3 times in one day. Well, I don't drink coffee, so that's not a problem that I have. I'm your host, Nikki Cruise, and today we're diving into that big question. How do we find joy in the middle of challenges and business struggles? Because let's face it, the entrepreneurial journey isn't always a smooth one. And I've just got off a call with an amazing friend of mine, Deb Smart, one smart lady, and the joy that she exudes is just so contagious. I want to be like that, but not every day do we have the circumstances where it's going smoothly. Have you ever felt like running a business is a cross between an Olympic sprint and an episode of Survivor, where you're constantly trying to outwit, outlast, and outmaneuver circumstances and your own self-doubt? Well, if you have, this episode is for you, because we're going to look at what scripture says, as well as some practical ways to elevate your joy. Because I do believe that God has a sense of humor. We're going to try and have some giggles along the way. But the most powerful thing in all of this is to remember that joy aids your resilience. When you have joy, it is so much easier to be resilient. That's why I've dropped it in here in the series on resilience. Have you ever lied to yourself and told yourself those little fibs that say, I'll be resilient now, but I'll only really be happy when my business is successful, when I have all the money I want, when I can feel the freedom of that financial success. I'll be happy when I get all the followers I want on Facebook or Instagram, or when I feel like I'm not having to work 80 hours per week. Well, here's the truth. And in fact, this is a bit of a truth bomb, because if you keep waiting to be happy, instead of planting the seeds for it right now, you're never going to get there. And in Ecclesiastes 11 verse 4, it says, the farmers who wait for perfect weather and never plant. If they watch every cloud, they never harvest. So you don't get to keep waiting, because it's never going to be perfect for you to allow yourself joy. You'll never plant those seeds of happiness that are going to grow and sprout and keep you sane in all that madness. You've got to find the joy in the journey, not just at the finish line. So here are some practical tips, and there are so many. Firstly, you get to remember that joy is not an emotion. It's not a fleeting emotion that's here 1 minute and gone the next, but it's a deep-seated state of being that fosters that resilience, especially when times are hard. How does it do that? Well, it gives you emotional strength. Joy equips us with the emotional strength we need to face those adversities, so that when the challenges arise, when those huge tidal waves hit, a joyful heart reduces anxiety. It reduces the stress, and it leads to that time of being able to take a deep breath and make far calmer decisions. And when you do that, joy gives you that perspective shift. It helps shift from a problem-centric or problem-centered mind to a solution-oriented mindset. And that's crucial to stand in resilience, because it allows us to pivot. It allows us to see beyond those immediate obstacles. We get to look up, see beyond them, and focus on possible solutions. And that leads to an increased motivation and the stamina to go on, because joy can sustain your energy levels over time and prevent burnout and bring you that encouraging perseverance for those tough days. The other thing is that joy is magnetic. It fosters stronger social bonds. It fosters greater community connections. And those connections can be a vital support when you are going through the tough days. So, yes, joy has everything to do with resilience. So, how do we do that? Well, these tips you will have heard over and over again, but think of the power they have when you understand how they are going to enhance your resilience. Gratitude journaling. Every day, write down 3 things that you are grateful for. They can be simple things. They shift your focus from seeing problems to seeing blessings. And then spend a few moments each day reflecting on past experiences, times where you felt the joy, especially on those tough days. Just stop, take a deep breath, and go back to those moments where you felt joy. And that reflection, those thoughts, they reinforce the role of joy in your life. And then one of my favorites, as you know, I love to celebrate. Recognize and celebrate the small achievements as they come. Don't wait for that one big achievement. This actually does something in the chemical balance in your brain. And we're going to be talking about that next week. Don't forget to nurture relationships. Engage in activities that strengthen your relationships. It could be a phone call, it could be just a message to a friend, or attending a dinner with family and friends. Connection instills joy and builds resilient buffers. Have fun. Do joyful activities. Integrate them into your routine. The things that naturally spark joy. If for you it's doing a puzzle, it might be dancing, painting, or a walk in nature. Those things really rejuvenate your spirit and they foster that resilient mindset. And when you do these things, you harness the joy because the joy is never lost. It is in you. God created us with joy. It might be clouded and locked away, but it's still in you. And when you do these things, they are released. Please keep in mind that comparison and overwhelm are the enemies of joy. You know, the good old, oh, on Instagram, I'm seeing how much she's doing and how well she's done, and she's got her 3rd program up and running. When you look at things on social media, recognize that you are comparing your behind the scene view on struggles with somebody else's filtered victories. And here's where Psalm 16, verse 11 reminds us, you make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. What does that mean? Well, God didn't call you to copy someone else. So stop comparing. He has defined your path. And joy comes from staying in his presence, not scrolling in somebody else's progress. Think of that for a moment. When you feel the comparison monster creeping in, just pause and pray. Lord, redirect my focus. Show me the beauty in my journey. And then write down one win of the day. Even if that win is, I only had to reheat my coffee twice today. Or I replied to that email I've left waiting for the last while. Celebrate it. Have joy through your faith, not through your feelings. You know, back to that old concept of the difference between joy and happiness. Happiness is when your client pays their invoice on time, and it's an emotion that comes and goes. But joy is when your client is late in their invoice and you still got trust that God is your provider, because that deep-seated trust cannot be shaken by the activities of others or by your circumstances. Happiness is when your social media post goes viral and you're all excited, but joy is when nobody likes it, but you remember that your validation comes from God, not from the numbers on your social media metrics. And in James 1, verses 2 and 3, God says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Yes, God calls it out through James. Joy isn't about your circumstances, it's about trusting God, even when those circumstances are uncertain. So declare joy over your business every morning. Say, Lord, today I choose joy. No matter what comes my way, I will trust you. My business belongs to you, and I know that you are guiding me. Let's face it, if we don't learn to find joy in the moment and even to laugh at ourselves, we're in trouble. I believe if the Bible had emojis, I bet Proverbs 31:25 would have a laughing face. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at all the days to come. Sometimes the best way to find joy in the chaos is to step back and to not take it all so seriously. If God can part the Red Seas, he can certainly handle your circumstances. And if he can feed those 5,000 people, he can help find you clients or help you find the clients. Watch or listen to something that makes you laugh. Have you ever noticed how contagious laughter is, even for yourself? So watch and listen to something that makes you laugh every day. Find a joke. Joy is sometimes the way you need to step away from the business stress and just laugh at a funny cat video. Jesus won't judge you. In fact, I believe he'll laugh right along with you. So to tie it all together, here's a quote from none other than Oprah Winfrey herself. The more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. This is such a simple but such a strong message that joy is an active practice. It's just not just a reaction to when things are going well. So are you going to laugh? Are you going to find joy in the moment? If you're feeling overwhelmed or discouraged, or like joy is just slipping through your fingers, take a deep breath and know that God's got you. Do those things. Choose gratitude. Speak joy over your business. And most importantly, laugh more. I hope that that encourages you and gives you some ways to keep that joy in your business because it is so important. So if you know somebody else out there who's struggling with the stress and the overwhelm, I hope you will share this episode with them. They might need a little joy boost. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, my friends, when we are going to talk about more practical steps to having joy, keep shining, keep trusting, and keep choosing joy. Thank you so much for joining me on the Joy Inspired Podcast at www.joyinspiredpodcast.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can get this and every other episode that comes out. We have lots of great stuff coming and you don't want to miss it. So make sure to hit that subscribe. I am so grateful for all the reviews and comments, and I look forward to serving you in next week's episode.